What you listening to, son?
Oh, hang on. My hand is itchy. So I gotta itch it on my wallet. Because I'm a little bit superstitious. Whenever your hand itches, you should use your wallet to scratch the itch. Apparently it's supposed to bring you money. Spiritual capitalism. What is the most wacky ideology? Well, you didn't ask theology, so we'll take religion out of it. But I guess the wackiest ideology would be... Whew. Oh, man. I don't know, dude. Anarcho-primitive, that does rank high up there. Top 5 for sure. The wackiest ideology. I mean, fascism is in the top 5 for sure. Theocracy is. Those are 2 of my most hated of ideologies. Anarcho-monarchism, probably. I'm willing to say anarcho-monarchism. Because you're an anarchist who wants a king and a queen. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense! Bro, I'm an anarcho-monarchist, bro. Like, we should not have a state, but we should have, like, a lord and a lady, bro. You know what I'm saying? I want to abolish hot dogs, bro. I don't even know what to come up with. What? That's how wacky it is. What would be a good comparison to anarcho-monarchism? It's like... ANCAP? Yeah, that's up there too. I feel like anarcho-monarchism probably outdoes primitivism or ANCAP. Like, I think anarcho-monarchism would be my pick, yeah. I want free healthcare, bro, but I also want, like, private insurance to, like, make all the money, bro. I want anarchy, but, like, a king and a queen, bro. Anarcho-primitivism is basically, okay, so it's an anarchist critique of civilization itself that advocates a return to non-civilized ways of life through deindustrialization, abolition of the division of labor or specialization, and abandonment of large-scale organization and high technology. Didn't even show the screen. They want to return to monkey. Anarcho-fascism? Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow, that's interesting. Make world ooga booga again. Yes! Actually, that is anarcho-primitive. Make world ooga booga again. They have like green hats instead of red hats, and it says it right there. Make world ooga booga again. Yeah, dude. I'm going to customize a green hat like that, a green and black hat like that, and I'm gonna wear it on stream. Holy fuck, that is fucking genius. That would be a great merch item. Oh my god, it's so wacky, dude. It's so wacky. How about this? Anarcho-monarchism. I wanna... clipped to wow, this is a hell of a cursor. Clipped to Anmon is a theoretical form of government which combines anarchy with monarchy. Anarcho-monarchism usually leans right-wing in economic and cultural matters, partially because most left-wing anarchists can't stand the concept of monarchy, but doesn't fundamentally have to be. Anarchy and monarchy as naturally allied? What? This is one of the simplest notions of anarcho-monarchy. This is the belief that the government should fundamentally be the responsibility of as few people as possible, as such, making an anarchy the ideal form of governance, with the system most preferable, that is not how you spell preferable right there, to the rule of none being the rule of one of monarchy. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. It literally doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense. JD Vance.
It's like Joe Biden wants to punish the people who didn't vote for him, and opening up the floodgates to the border is one way to do it.
That's JD Vance arguing that Biden is intentionally opening the border. He has an open border policy in order to make the lives of people living in his state of Ohio even more miserable. This is intentional. His rant gets even worse. And he even suggests that Biden is interested in essentially executing this master game plan that physically hurts voters in middle America. Let's watch.
Before we watch, hang on. Let me go pee. Let me go pee. I need to go pee. I need to go pee. I need to go pee-pee in the potty. Pee-pee. I need to go pee-pee. I need to go pee-pee. I need to go pee-pee. Cat, do not go in there. His commercials are so annoying. Every time a commercial comes up, vote JD Vance today. No, don't. JD Vance, the liar. I wish he would just go move to the Sahara or something. True. Him and another threat to Ohioans like me. And that other one is Jim Renacci, who is self-proclaimed Trumpian Republican. I saw an advertisement of his while I was at work one day, and it was, wow. Yeah, I think it was this one.
In the race between Mike DeWine and Jim Renacci, the choice is clear. After DeWine turned his back on Trump, he turned his back on Ohio, shuttering our economy, mandating masks on our kids, governing Ohio just like his liberal friends Joe Biden and Andrew Cuomo would.
Oh my
And
God.
certainly Jim Renacci had Donald Trump's back from day one. And as governor, he'll have our back every day. No more mandates, no more lockdowns, just accountable, conservative leadership for Ohio.
He also gets the wall. JD Vance, Jesus Christ. Him and Renacci could both get the fucking wall.
That if you wanted to kill a bunch of MAGA voters in the middle of the heartland, how better than to target them and their kids with this deadly fentanyl? And I mean, the crazy thing, of course, is it's not just drug addicts who are affected by this, right? I mean, of course, most of our voters are not people who are suffering from some addiction, but they know a lot of people.
How do you know? How do you know? Can I get some numbers, please? How do you know? How do you know? Addiction isn't like a liberal thing. What do you fucking mean, dude?
Right, their kids are affected by it. A lot of grandparents, man, who are taking care of grandkids that they weren't expecting to take care of because this fentanyl killed their children, right? And those grandparents had to step up. So
and he's gonna blame Mexicans and not like the fucking the other epidemic that like usually causes the epidemic of opioid addiction, which is, I don't know, probably hopelessness, maybe, like you know, probably like socioeconomic like disenfranchisement, you know, probably, you know, economic despair and not feeling like, you know, you're gonna make it. That you know, and fuck it. I mean, I'm not gonna be okay anyways. Let's just end it. So many people die from this shit. You know, maybe I'll be one and I'll get out of this fucking shithole called physical reality and life itself. Like, maybe address the hopelessness that usually precedes addiction a lot of the time. What the fuck? I hate motherfuckers like this, dude. Can't at all consider what might precipitate and potentially at least be one of the major contributions to the cause of substance abuse disorder.
It's really a border crisis that has gone all over the country. It's not just the southern border states that are affected by it. It's everybody. And man, it does look intentional.
So there is a tiny, tiny kernel of truth in what he's saying, and I want to address that. What is not at all true is that the Biden administration intentionally has an open border policy to allow for the flow of illegal drugs into the country.
Nice pause face right there. Ooh, better pause face. Hey, Anna, how you doing? Conservatives. Let's have a talk real quick, okay? Actually, full screen, bitch. We don't have open borders. We never have. At any point in American history, we've never had open borders. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's never been a thing. It's probably not going to be a thing. So long as this country keeps going on the trajectory that's going on. Dude, liberals are not fucking communists. Get this through your fucking dumb fuck incest bred skull. You dumb fuck. Open border policy. Open border policy. Dude, Bernie Sanders doesn't even advocate for open border policy. Probably for, like, you know, a more cohesive course towards citizenship for foreigners, but not open border. That's shit that people like me advocate for, not even Bernie. And you think Biden, backed by some of America's richest billionaires, especially throughout his campaign, who he told nothing would fundamentally change. That Biden, open borders, you dumb motherfucker. These people don't know dick. Jesus Christ. Pick up a dictionary.
To allow for the flow of illegal drugs into the country to kill off right-wing voters. That is, I mean, just the biggest smear, biggest hyperbole. And also,
you have to be Mr. Fantastic to get to that reach. Holy fuck, dude. Like, fucking Stretch Armstrong over here. He's purposely letting in all this fucking fentanyl to kill right-wing voters specifically. Yeah, okay, dude, okay. Yeah, lizard people also exist.
It just shows how little the right wing really knows about Democratic strategy and how, I mean, look, when you look at how weak Democrats are, the idea that they would do something so heinous is so insane. But putting that aside, he is right in pointing out what is happening in Middle America, what's happening across the country in regard to drug overdoses. In fact, in 2020 alone, 2,000 homeless people in Los Angeles County alone died on the street.
God, I sound like I just snorted a bunch of Xanax.
We're talking about fentanyl. We're talking about meth. Yes, these drugs have been smuggled into the United States through our southern border. However, it's also important to focus on the difference between how the Trump administration handled that versus how the Biden administration handled that. Right. And this is where the Biden administration drives me crazy, because it wasn't until I started researching this story today that I realized that Border Patrol under the leadership of President Joe Biden has been far more effective in seizing drugs as these smugglers are trying to smuggle it across the border. I want to give you those details in a moment, but Jake, I also wanted to give you an opportunity to jump in regard to what JD Vance said there.
Yeah, so the Republicans have realized there's no bottom of the barrel. You could just say the most hideous things. There'll be no pushback. There'll be no check on them, and all their voters will believe it instantly. He said that Biden is trying to intentionally kill MAGA voters. That's insane, insane. By the way, I mean, we're talking about fentanyl, et cetera, but JD Vance got famous off of Hillbilly Elegy. That's a book that he wrote that turned into a movie, and that's about the opioid crisis. That has nothing to do with Mexico or drugs coming across the border. That's American drug companies. And JD Vance knows that. He's studied it, he's researched it. He's an Ivy League graduate. He knows that talking about immigration in that context or border crossings in that context, which he's done many times before, is just a flat out lie.
True.
And it's actually drug companies that are funding the Republican Party that caused the mess in the first place. But it's kind of inconvenient to say, oh, my donors and the donors of all my colleagues are the ones who actually killed you for profit. And all of my friends in the Republican Party, and a lot of them in the Democratic Party, allowed that to happen. Scary brown man, and Biden let him kill you. That sells really well in Republican circles because it's not close to true. It scares the bejesus out of right-wingers. And what's the number one defining trait of right-wingers? Fear. They're deathly afraid of everything. They don't think, they're not logical, They just go, oh, I'm scared, I'm scared.
There was a study, actually, where... Hang on, maybe I can pull it up. There was a study where conservatives more prone to fear. Psychology Today. Fear and anxiety drive conservatives' political attitudes. Peer-reviewed research shows that conservatives are generally more sensitive to threat. While this threat bias can distort reality, fuel irrational fears, and make one more vulnerable to fear-mongering politicians, it could also promote hyper-vigilance, perhaps making one better prepared to handle an immediate threat. Conservatives tend to focus on the negative. You don't fucking say. In a 2012 study, liberal and conservative participants were shown collages of negative and positive images on a computer screen while their eye movements were recorded. While liberals were quicker to look at pleasant images, like a happy child or a cute bunny rabbit, conservatives tended to behave oppositely. They'd at first inspect threatening and disturbing pictures, things like car wrecks, spiders on faces, and open wounds crawling with Ew. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm the opposite. I am 180 degrees from a conservative. If I see an open wound with maggots, it's funny enough like a car wreck. You can't. It's so horrible. How do you look away? Like, fuck, dude. This is what psychologists call a negativity bias. If you think about it, this makes sense. When attention is biased towards the negative, the result is an overly threat-conscious appraisal of one's surroundings. To many conservatives, the world may look like a much scarier place. This would seem to explain why so many major conservative viewpoints tend to be rooted in fear of the president, immigrants, vaccines, etc. Conservatives have a stronger physiological response to threats. A 2008 study published in the journal Science found that conservatives have a stronger physiological response to startling noises and graphic images. This adds to a growing body of research that indicates a hypersensitivity to threat, a hallmark of anxiety. But why exactly would those who scare more easily tend to support conservative views? One social psychologist from the University of Central Arkansas, Paul Nail. I'm getting the feeling that Paul nails it. That is so stupid. Conservatism apparently helps to protect people against some of the natural difficulties of living. The fact is, we don't live in a completely safe world. True. Things can and do go wrong, but if I can impose this order on it by my worldview, I can keep my anxiety to a manageable level. This could explain the two parties' different stances on gun control. Good example. It makes sense that those who startle more easily are also the ones that believe they need to own a gun. True. Conservatives fear new experiences. A 2008 study cataloged items found in the bedrooms of college students. There's gonna be a lot of dildos. And saw that while liberals owned more books and travel-related items, conservatives had more things like dildos. I mean, that had more things that kept in order in their lives, like calendars and cleaning supplies. This suggests that liberals more often seek adventure and novel experiences. Conservatives, on the other hand, may prefer a more ordered, disciplined lifestyle. This could help explain why they can be resistant to change and progressive policies. Also because they are racist, homophobic, transphobic, and generally are just xenophobic about everything. Conservatives' brains are more selective, yes, that's not the word though, are more reactive to fear. Using MRI, scientists from University College London have found that students who identify themselves as conservative have a larger amygdala than self-described. Really? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh my god. Wow. No shit. Other brain structures may also show patterns of neural activity that reflect political attitudes. Conservatives respond to threatening situations with more aggression than liberals do. more sensitive to threatening facial expressions. Heightened sensitivity to emotional faces suggests that individuals with conservative orientation might exhibit differences in brain structures associated with emotional processing, such as the amygdala. No shit. Voting behavior is reflected in amygdala responses across culture. Oh my god, yeah. Wow. That makes that makes sense. Evaluate whether any relationship between gray matter volume of the amygdala and conservatism in political attitudes. We found that increased gray matter volume in the right amygdala was significantly associated with conservatism. Wow. Huh. Wow, dude. It makes sense. It makes sense. Hey, Jess. Hello. Kisses. Mwah, mwah. So we literally have evidence here. We have evidence. Empirical data that suggests that the right amygdala in the brain, I'm not a fucking neuroscientist, but from what it said earlier, associated with emotional processing, yes, is larger in the brain of a conservative than that of a liberal. Huh. This brain structure is involved in emotional processing. There we go. And it's especially reactive to fearful stimuli. It is possible that an oversized amygdala could create a heightened sensitivity that may cause one to habitually overreact to anything that appears to be a potential threat, whether it actually is one or not. This disproportionate fear response could explain how, for example, Bush's administration was able to gather wide public support amongst conservatives for invading Iraq. Maybe if they said the phrase weapons of mass destruction enough times, it wouldn't matter whether they existed or not. Fucking true. Which is exactly what the fuck happened. Empirical evidence suggests that conservatives and liberals don't just have different outlooks and opinions, they also have different brains. Conservatism is literally a fucking mental health disorder. Holy fuck, dude. I mean, I've heard that, but I've never actually seen the data. It's true. This means that our choice of political affiliation and overall worldview may not really be all that much of a choice. Which explains why you can't change anyone's minds purely on debate. My choice on this channel to make debates at least a rare occurrence, I'm not ruling it out. I have no problem debating people, but at the same time I do. For this very fucking reason, and this backs it up. You can't change anyone's fucking minds, dude. If y'all want blood sports, it's a different fucking story, but at the same time, it's not like there's going to be a good outlook. Jess, specifically in the chat, we know somebody whose mind cannot be changed. We probably just figured out why. Would you find this article? I can link it in chat real quick if you want. There's the Psychology Today. There's the amygdala study. There you go. Yeah, definitely go through it. This is very interesting. Still, we must work to understand these psychological and biological distinctions so that we can ultimately use this knowledge to work together and find middle ground. No, we don't. We just need to eliminate conservatism because it's a mental disease. Such information may also make us less vulnerable to those who want to exploit these dispositions for their own selfish agendas by using tactics such as fear-mongering. Furthermore, knowing why someone is the way they are can help us to be more tolerant and patient of one another until they decide to invade the Capitol on a certain January 6th of a certain 2020 year and literally try to fascistically dominate the country and destroy our democratic processes. Yes, but we have to be tolerant and patient. Yes. We must also be honest about the situation when important choices are being made based on gut instinct rather than logical reasoning. It is everyone's responsibility. Everyone's responsibility to point this out so that it doesn't result in catastrophe. Anyways.
And then they just go vote for Republicans that scare them the most, and Democrats have no effective pushback. There is one, Anna, there is one group of people in politics, though, that did almost intentionally kill MAGA voters. That would be right-wing media, pundits, and politicians who told them COVID's no big deal and you shouldn't get vaccinated.
True! God damn. Dude, okay, so at my job, of which I will not name the name, months ago, we had a huge, massive exodus in employment. There were so many employees who left, and some of them left because of working conditions. Most of them, though, left, at least as a primary motivation. We had a vaccine mandate, and that there was a certain date that you had to get vaccinated, fully vaccinated, or else we had to let you go. Yes, thank you. And like, considering that I'm in the addiction rehabilitation field, it is technically under the umbrella of healthcare. Yes, especially fucking nurses who like literally take an oath saying that my health is more important than yours. Like me, the patient, my health is more important than you, the healthcare worker. Get vaccinated. And if you haven't gotten the booster yet, get the fucking booster. For me, I felt like shit for 30 hours straight, and then I was fine. Whatever. Like, okay. But like, oh, you can't deal with like being sick for a little over a day? Oh, I'm so sorry. Shut the fuck up, Snowflake. Get a fucking booster.
Take ivermectin.
Yeah.
Take ivermectin, even though there's absolutely no evidence indicating that it serves as a prophylactic or a treatment, an effective treatment for COVID.
And like, this was also debunked not too long ago. There was, hold on. Let's look this up now. Ivermectin debunked. He claimed ambulances were paralyzed with the load of ivermectin cases. If you're going to take medicine that could affect your health, do it with a doctor on board. Make those decisions with a thoroughly vetted opinion. There's a lot of schooling that goes into that. A lot of schooling, like 12 plus years. Medical school takes a long fucking time to get through. Pretty sure they know their shit. It's not just something you look on the internet for and decide if it's the right dose. Yeah, you fucking dumb fucks. The FDA has cautioned against taking the animal dewormer. Animal dewormer. Yes, it got like an award for deworming. It is an anti-parasitical medication. Usually for horses, and they made one for humans for parasites. COVID-19 is a virus. Here's COVID. Here's parasites. Are they here or are they here? No, they're here. Because they're not the fucking same. Dumb fucks. Podcaster Joe Rogan recently listed ivermectin as one of the drugs he took when he tested positive for the virus. Virus, dewormer, virus. Fuckers. Take ivermectin, it's totally gonna work. It's a joke, Twitch, it's a joke. Don't.
Don't get vaccinated, don't wear masks, don't social distance, open up businesses prematurely. And I'm talking about the very beginning of the pandemic, in the early stages in 2020.
9 pound horsecock worm, dude. God damn it. Hi, Kat, welcome. We're talking about horsecock right now.
I mean, you even had the lieutenant governor of Texas, Dan Patrick, flat out say on cable television, yeah, some elderly people might die, but saving the economy is more important. I mean,
yes. Oh my God, I remember that, dude. Oh my God, like, oh my, yeah, I almost said horses, horse people. I almost said horse people. What the fuck? Old people, yeah, they can die on the altar of capitalism, whatever, you know, they're gonna die anyway, so like, you know, may as well make money off of their corpses.
I'm paraphrasing here, but he was very clear about what his intentions were there. But again, in order to ensure that the truth gets out there, you would need the party that serves as opponents to people like JD Vance to come out and aggressively spread that message. And we have not seen that. In fact, to that point, we have not seen any type of aggressive or effective campaigning from Democrats, particularly the Biden administration, which, again, to repeat myself, has actually done a much better job in catching these smugglers before they're able to smuggle a lot of these drugs into the country, okay? And I don't think we should in any way minimize the reality. There is high demand in this country for things like Mexican fentanyl and Mexican meth. We need to address why that is.
I can already address that right now for you, Anna. Hopelessness. It's hopelessness, hopelessness, hopelessness. It's people who don't think they're going to get anywhere in their lives, man. And like, sorry, capitalists, but it all comes back to socioeconomics. It all comes back to the fact that, like, listen, dude, okay. I want to paint a picture for you real quick, okay? You're poor as fuck. You just lost your job. You're looking for another job, and it's kind of difficult right now. It happens. You go on Indeed, you go on Monster, you go on ZipRecruiter, you go on all these different sites, you go to your local job center, you know. Nothing's really panning out. It happens sometimes. And you end up starting to get behind on your bills a little bit. Maybe the electricity shuts off. OnlyFans, stop with the OnlyFans. Your electricity gets shut off. Your gas gets shut off. Okay, now you're taking cold showers in the dark. Your fridge has you have a time limit of like opening that shit for 2 seconds to get out your stop. We're not doing an OnlyFans. This September 11th, we're announcing OnlyGray. OnlyCraft. Jesus Christ. If 6,969 people subscribe to the highest tier on my Patreon, fuck. I guess I'm gonna have to make an OnlyCraft. Whatever, dude. All right, y'all get to see my pee-pee. I'd wear some lingerie, whatever, you know. Show you this boy pussy. Show you some of this pussy. It's tight as fuck, by the way. Anyways, listen. You can't pay rent. You can't pay bills. You end up getting kicked out. You end up getting evicted. Okay? Maybe your phone shuts off. Now, if there are any fucking chances for employers to call you for a job, they can't fucking get a hold of you. Because who has landlines these days? And you're evicted from your house, you don't have a landline even if you do. Okay? And the next thing you know, your cell phone shuts off. There's no way to contact you. You don't have a home. You don't have a shower. You don't have food. You don't have electricity. You don't have the internet unless you go to a public library, which people are probably going to complain that you stink. So you get fucking kicked out of there. Now you can't search for a job in there. And next thing you know, you don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Maybe you're going couch to couch to couch to couch, and maybe motherfuckers are starting to get annoyed that you can't find a fucking job. And then you end up getting kicked out of there, kicked out of there, kicked out of there. That's somewhat personal experience, by the way. Literally have been there, okay? And then next thing you know, I am way too stressed. I'm way too overwhelmed. I'm depressed. I feel helpless. I feel hopeless. There's nothing that can be done. I need a distraction. I need something. I need some kind of reprieve, anything. There you go.
Catalina Gearbox cheered. X100. Gay Bear Gray.
True.
Laredo, for instance, Laredo, Texas, is the front line in the United States government's long and often demoralizing effort to stop illegal drugs at the border. U.S. Interstate 35 runs from here all the way to Duluth, Minnesota, right up the middle of the United States.
Yep.
For long-haul trucking, it is the highway equivalent of the Mississippi River, a central artery into the American heartland.
Yes, and that's why my city of Dayton either still is or once was a fucking, like, a tumor in the central artery of the American heartland. Like we were such a hotbed of heroin and fentanyl overdose. Like, it was insane, dude. So many people died here that our morgues were overrun with corpses. Overrun with corpses. Like the morticians and whatnot, the people who do autopsies, like they were like not just double but triple timing their fucking shit, dude. Like I could not imagine the overtime that they fucking had on their paychecks. Like, holy fuck, dude. There was so much shit, dude. Ohio's bad, period. It really is. It really is. Drug abuse is the failure of the government to care and protect its citizens. Yes, which is exactly why I said that it's a response epidemic to the epidemic of hopelessness in this country. I mean, maybe if we had, I don't know, universal health care and universal child care and universal education, especially higher education for adults, like university and community college, you know, maybe, like, if there was more opportunity in the land of opportunity, like, maybe we wouldn't have so many fucking dead addicts and fucking in alleyways and on the streets. Maybe there would be, dude, there's 552,000 homeless people in this country. How many of them do you think are on drugs? They're homeless.
So when you talk about these drugs being smuggled past the southern border straight to middle America, there is some truth to that. Now, more than 100,000 Americans are dying each year from drug overdoses, and most of those fatalities are in fact linked to fentanyl. Overdoses from fentanyl have become the leading cause of death for Americans ages 18 to 45, according to the latest data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Do you all remember hearing that story about the cop? There was a story of a cop who, wait, hold on. I live in a small town of barely 10,000 people and some guy was on some drug and killed some guy behind the Pizza Hut. Oh, wow, that sounds fucked. There's a story of a cop who they busted someone for, I believe, drug trafficking, and they had drugs in the car. They got the guy, arrested him, and I guess was searching his vehicle and whatnot for like all the for all the other shit, you know. What else does he have? And he just touched it, like literally, just like 0.2 fucking micrograms. Like, if that shit gets on your skin, it gets in your skin. It burrows basically. And like he fucking felt he's alive, but he almost croaked. He fucking, like, within 10 seconds, fucking nods out, dude. He faints. He falls on the fucking ground. This fentanyl shit is no fucking joke, dude. It's no fucking joke. This shit is literally the equivalent of elephant tranquilizer. This shit is so fucking strong. And motherfuckers are just fucking putting it in their fucking veins every fucking day. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard from fellow ex-heroin addicts in recovery who would tell me these stories about, like, yeah, man, I remember going over to my dealer's house for some heroin, and old dude fucking shot up on the couch and died 2 nights prior. And my dealer told me about that. And my immediate first thought is, wow, he must have got some good shit. Like, Holy fuck, dude. Like, oh my God. I'm all for the legalization of non-addictive drugs. I'm for, here's the thing. Okay, you want my drug policy? My drug policy is legalize all of them. Here's the reason why. If you legalize all drugs, okay, first off, look at Portugal. There was a huge spike of drug use. The same thing happened in Amsterdam. People would see these motherfuckers croaking over in alleyways and they're like, I don't want that shit. Fuck that. I just want to smoke some weed. And then, like, they don't, because it's right fucking there. Not only that, but what about safe injection sites? I remember watching a video, I might have watched it on stream, of somebody, he was like behind the curtain at this safe injection site, and like there was somebody interviewing a staff member of this facility, and he interrupts the conversation from behind the curtain, is like, nobody ever dies. Nobody ever dies, bro. We do our thing, and you know. And it's literally true. It's literally true. Like literally, they have a 100% safety rate. They have a 100% nobody dies rate. Nobody has died ever. So I'm absolutely for it. If they're going to do it anyways, and they're not going to get sober, then the best way to save these people and to save money on Narcan, probably, is to legalize all drugs and federally fund these safe injection sites. They work. Empirically, objectively, they work. Not to mention, to be honest, just like with weed, there are official, regulated, and overseen growth operations, and they're tested and they're made sure to be safe. You know, no fentanyl. You know, it's not cut with anything that's like absolutely like 99% probably going to kill you. And these people can get high safely. And there's also reports of these people having the opportunity presented to them pretty much every time they go, of like, hey, do you want to quit? Like, can you be like, let's be honest here. Let's have an honest conversation. Do you want to quit? And there's a higher chance of them going to fucking rehab at these safe injection sites. Like, they'll get high one last time and they'll fucking go to rehab. Like, there you go.
CBP's Laredo field office seized 588 pounds of the powerful synthetic opioid fentanyl during the 2021 fiscal year, an 11-fold increase over the 50 pounds, just 50 pounds detected in 2020. Cocaine seizures at the Laredo port of entry doubled last year. And CBP seized more than 190,000 pounds of meth in total at U.S. borders, nearly 3 times the amount confiscated in 2018.
But Trump cares. Trump cares about the opioid epidemic. He really does. He really does care. He really 11-fold. 3 times. Dude, Biden's fucked up on a lot of things, and he's fucking up currently on a lot of things. This, though? Bro. Wait, what?
Let's say...
Oh my god! No! If you think you know everything, then why don't you debate this, liberal?
Let's say, hypothetically, that every time we touch, I got this feeling. Let's also say, for the sake of argument, that every time we kissed, I swore I could fly. Is it not then reasonable to assume that one would be able to feel my heartbeat fast?
Fair enough, Ben. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, I can't argue with that. Fucking, he won this debate, man. Wow. Let's say, hypothetically, that I'd like to suck penis. let's say that I'm really about it. Let's say I want to get cream pied by Gay Bear Gray.
The amount of cocaine and fentanyl seized at the border at 8 Texas ports of entry increased significantly last year during the Biden administration, keeping massive amounts of the drugs out of the country, according to U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, Border Protection. And we all know that that government agency is not some sweet little left-wing organization or agency.
Right.
So the fact that they are putting that data out there means quite a bit. And then let's take a look at this graph because it shows you, it helps you visualize the difference. National drug involved overdose deaths really did shoot up in 2020 under Donald Trump's watch.
Yeah.
And look, I think that the COVID pandemic also had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But for the right wing, for JD Vance to pretend as though A, Biden has an open border policy, and B, he's intentionally allowing for the flow of these harmful drugs into the country to intentionally kill right-wing voters is one of the most disgusting and dishonest smears I've heard from a right winger. And that's saying something.
I remember 2020, right after the lockdowns had been initiated. I remember I was barefoot on my front yard, talking with a fellow friend in recovery, and he told me this. He broke the news on somebody that like literally lived a 10-minute walk from my apartment. He was like, yeah, over here on this street over here, you know, this guy I knew from NA, Narcotics Anonymous, relapsed on meth. And apparently walked into traffic and slit his own throat in the process and got hit by a car. Substances amplify, at times at least, maybe not every time, but substances that get you high or get you drunk, some form of inebriation, ends up really revealing your subconscious in a lot of ways. And to me, he had to have been fighting some demons, you know? That person was probably thinking about it already, and when he fucking got high, took it to the extreme, and really fucking went out with a bang, you know? Rest in peace, man. Fuck. DARE, by the way, is a fucking piece of shit organization. They don't do dick. I remember DARE coming into my classroom when I was like in 6th grade, and they just showed us pictures of like, you know, what drugs are and like what they do and stuff. They didn't stop me from fucking ending up as a drug addicted alcoholic. Fuck.